Heidi ho, guys and gals, Jeff King here, back again in the Den of Tools, and today we're talking dash cams. Now, you know, if you've been around the channel, you know I'm a huge proponent of dash cams. I think every vehicle should have them. And that's why when today's sponsor reached out to me, I was like, yeah, I'd love to talk to you about what the product you have, because what they offered here, this is 70 Mi, they are launching their new Omni dash cam, and it's the 360-degree view. When they told me that, I was like, wow, you mean like the new GoPro 360 and all those other 360 action cams? That is a brilliant idea. Why hasn't somebody come out with this yet? Well, we're going to see. So let's go into this. So right now you can buy, the product is in pre-order. It's on Kickstarter, which I know a lot of you don't like Kickstarter. You don't like Kickstarter, you can order it directly from their own page, or you could wait a little bit and it'll come out here shortly and you can get one if you're interested. We'll talk about that at the end. Anyway, current price on it is like, what, $150, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Really, the question is it worth it at all? What kind of quality product are we talking about? So let me jump into it. Let me first, because this is the important part, let's hit where the rubber meets the road. Let's see what it looks like in a vehicle. We're going to do it at day and at night. We're going to see if you can, view license plates, that kind of stuff. And then we'll jump back here and I'll tell you the rest of the story. All right, we're in the truck and it's time to do the installation on this little bugger. So this right here, this little part, this adjusts, you see there, to the tilt, but it's got a permanent installation on it. Suction cup would have been better, totally get it, but they have a different solution here, so you don't have to permanently stick it to your windshield. They give you a couple of these little static pads, and what happens is you take one of these, you clean it off, and you put it in your windshield, and it basically acts like the windshield. And then you adhere it to the other side, and then when you want to remove it, you can just peel the pad off. You want to put it with the gap side facing up. Don't put it like this on your windshield. You want to put it like this, up in the area around where your rear view mirror is. And that way it allows you to get that kind of surface level mount without having to permanently install it. Well, as you can see, that's where I have mine installed. So it doesn't really block my view here from the driver's side. No, there is no static sheet there because I tried it and no matter what I tried, it would not stick to my windshield. So that's a nice one, but that's not we're gonna opt out on that one. So hopefully one day, if I need to, I can take that off. But for right now, it is what it is. And let's get the cable routed and we're gonna try it out. All right, and we're driving around. This is downtown Livingston here. You can see the Murray Hotel down there. Do a quick drive down Main Street. Lights aren't on. We're going to do the same drive tonight so you can see the difference in the dash cam. Right now, the main footage you're seeing here is from an iPhone 13 Pro, so you can compare the video here. And we'll show you snippets and clips from the dash cam as we go along. We got light dusting today. It's going to be snowing pretty much every day this week, all the way up until Thursday when the big snow hits. There's Main Street. Cruise on down here and see if we get some of these features here to work for us. Okay, and let me walk you through this part here. I got the full screen dash cam up here now so you can see exactly what the dash cam sees. I just want to throw in the iPhone there for the comparison because a lot of people don't have experience with dash cams, and there's what you're going to get and what you should expect. Okay, now license plates. At 1080p, this is just a thing. You're not going to get license plate resolution. I've seen a ton of dash cams, and maybe during bright daylight, which we don't really have here, and because the weather's been bad and cloudy, kind of overcast, and so unless you're getting that bright day cast with a high res dash cam, you're really not going to get license plate kind of resolution. That's the case. That's just 1080p for you. Even zoomed in, that's either one of these. You can't see what it is. So just remember that it's just not something you're going to get. Now, how about image quality at night? All right. Well, there's the Omni cam, big. The iPhone cam, small. Again, I gotta say, I'm impressed with the quality for what it is. The iPhone is recording in 1080p because A, keeping things standard. Also B, that's what I shoot video in. 4K is some unwieldy size video. Let me tell you, I've tried editing it before, and there's a reason why most people shoot in 1080p, even though we all have 4K, TVs and stuff. Okay, maybe not all of us, but you know what I'm saying here. So, this takes us down to the stoplight in town. If you want to head out west there, you're going to Bozeman. But I just want to continue through town because you're getting a lot of different lighting conditions. Back there is a little more dense, and it's going to get a little bit dark here as we go past, some of these stores here. We got Verizon. You want to pick up your SIM card over there. There's the In-N-Out, Matt's In-N-Out or Mark's In-N-Out beef burger over there. Great place during the summer. Not open so much during the winter. It's a tourist kind of thing. But anyway, it's, I gotta say, I was impressed for the nighttime color quality on this dash cam. I've got negatives for it. Don't worry, if you wait till the end, you're gonna hear the whole list of them. But it's got a lot of positives going for it. I've looked at a lot of dash cams. This is really terrible kind of test for this. This is about as bad as it gets. It's nighttime, there's quasi lighting, a lot of oncoming vehicles, and there's snow everywhere, and there's snow and stuff on the dash, so you're getting all that glare off of every single surface. That's going to be the hardest thing to deal with. And if you compare it to the iPhone and such, I think you could talk about image color saturation and all that kind of stuff, but I think all in all, that's a pretty good image for a $150 camera that doesn't have near the processing power built into it that you get with, say, a flagship cell phone. Okay, and I wanted to compare some nighttime versus, I guess, nighttime with light versus nighttime without light. So there we got the headlights from the vehicle. There's a little porch light over to the left. And then without the headlights, we still got the porch light in there. Yeah, you're getting a bunch of blobs of gray and dark and stuff. It's not like this thing's got some sort of infrared built-in night vision. All right, let's talk about the app for the dash cam here. It's really easy to set up. You just connect right to it. There's really not much to it other than I think you press a button to confirm, and then you're in here. Now you got all the settings, tons and tons of settings, all sorts of stuff you can change and add. You can change whether it's shooting in HDR. You can set resistance to blink. You can adjust the tripod on it. Now that's basically what it considers to be center on the camera. Now if you want the camera, like say, off to one side or pointing more to left or right, you just basically balance it out right there. Voice control, events, speaker volumes, all that kind of stuff. More more controls you can shake a stick at. But of course, if you're in the US, you're probably going to want to change the date code first. And then you're going to want to go and definitely change the MPH or the kilometers to MPH, okay? Other stuff you can change in this. Well, you can change the name of the device. You can check your firmware on it. And then here we can go in, and this is one of the two ways that you can check and take a look at what was on your camera. This is the timeline. It lets you scroll right through. You can select the size of the image that you're going to download, and then you can download it directly to your phone. As you can see, this process is not the fastest, but you can connect a USB cable to this and download it directly to a laptop. You can also turn on effects, so it has the HUD overlay in here. It kind of silly, I guess, but I guess some people like that sort of thing. All right, you've seen it in use. Let's talk about the features there and what you can expect from this thing. It's got some cool stuff. It's got some ridiculous stuff, and it's got some stuff that, well, we just need to talk about. First off, it's got a good image quality, all right? A high dynamic range, a low light aperture. I thought, honestly, for a dash cam, there's going to be a lot of qualifiers for a dash cam in this because, let's be honest, the dash cam, I've been waiting for good quality dash cams that have stellar quality image, and they're just not there. And part of that has to do with the processing of it. We're comparing it against an iPhone 13. It could practically launch the space shuttle back in the day. So, it's got, I think a lot of people would agree, it's the 13 Pro that has one of the best cell phone cameras ever produced. And it's as good as many mirrorless kind of cameras on a lot of qualities. So high bar was set for this thing. Now, what else can it do? Well, it's got some cool features. It's got lane departure, which couldn't use because of the snow. The front car alert, I guess I didn't get close enough to any cars to set it off. I probably should have tried that. It's got this AI thing where it will, when you give it certain commands or it notices things, it'll make faces. It's adorable, I guess. My daughter thinks it's amazing. The wife thought it was cute. I'm driving. I can't look at that stuff, so I don't get that. I'm not a big fan of screens on dash cams, to be honest, because I think it's kind of a waste of money. Who's going to be sitting there looking at the screen? What else has it got? The voice commands: shoot left, shoot right. That was cool, except for the fact that if I shoot right, I got an A pillar, and if I shoot left, I got the friggin' the mirror. So the only other option then is to mount it down low and center, which I'm probably going to get a ticket for, I would think. And yeah, anywhere else you get it lower where I can see everything, then it gets in my field of view. I mean, in this picture here, you can see he's got it low enough it'll scan underneath the mirror. Great. But for me, I won't do that. I got to have full field of view. The driving's the most important part of this. All right, and then it's got this overlay here. And as we showed, it's on the app, and you can turn it on and off. And what it does is it basically puts a HUD on top of the recording, so it can actually see in perspective. I like it identifying the other vehicles, but really the rest of it is a bit kind of, I don't know. It's only good for recording, so I don't know. If you're going to put an AI helmet on, maybe that might be something. It does recording at night, but here's the issue. A lot of these other features, they're only available when you have the permanent cable install. So if you're just using like the cigarette lighter or USB install, it's not going to work. But it will compress. It takes, I think it's one picture every 30 minutes or something like that. Or was it 30 seconds? I think it was 30 minutes. Anyway, so good time lapse overnight if that's your sort of thing, what you're looking for. Next, it will act as a parking sensor. So it will, with its little rotating eye, sit there and notice people and identify them and be like, okay, you're getting in my vicinity. And then combined with the shock sensor, if they actually touch the vehicle, boom. And then what's it going to do? Well, it's going to record that as an event, and you're going to be able to download that off of the camera. The problem is it's not going to alert you to your cell phone, which it would outside North America. Now, when they get the whole SIM card thing worked out and you can subscribe to that, you'll get actually a notification to your phone, which would be cool because I'd like to know that something just happened. But it will record it. So you get back, there's a big dent in your fender. You can be like, oh, I bet my camera caught it, and you go check it on your file there. What I liked about it. Okay, real quick, easy setup. Other than the fact that static cling didn't work, you stick it on there, you tilt it to the right angle, you connect with your app, and you run power to it. Now, if you want the permanent install, that's going to be a little bit more involved there. Good image. 4HD, and that's most cameras, most dash cams are HD currently. They really need to be 4K. Then they need better processing power, but that bumps the price up. And I've looked at this with webcams. There's a balance between what you can get and keep it cheap because of the processing power required for it. That's why your phone can do it, because your phone's basically a mini supercomputer. But so for HD, not bad. Field of view, how wide it is, I thought it was pretty good. There's some out there that they get so wide the image gets distorted to the point where you can't really see what's right in front of you. So I thought this was a nice balance. It nailed the basics of being a dash cam. Okay, it's got good image, it's got daytime, it's got nighttime. I mean, like, you can see what's going on. There's some where at night you just have no clue what's going on. It's got the app that connects to it so you can get more information. That's actually a bonus. Most of them don't have that. What else does it do? It's got the shock sensor and all that kind of stuff. It'll record the video and it'll record images and it'll do all the things that any good basic dash cam will do. So there's no giant holes in that aspect. App or PC access. One of the things when I was starting to do this video is I went to get to retrieve the stuff, and takes a long time to move the good size images. And so I contacted them, and I'm like, because I was like, if this is the only way to get these images, that's going to be an issue, because there's no SIM card. No, there's SIM card. There's no memory card to remove. The memory card is built into it. So I can't just pop it off and pop it into a PC. But they did say if you unplug the power port, you can plug a USB-C cable into it directly into your computer, and you can download the images that way. That would be quick and fast, and I like that, except for the fact it's permanently mounted to my windshield, which means I'd have to take my laptop, go out there, plug it in. Not terrible. I can still access them. Not ultra convenient, though, okay? Let's see what else. The build quality. This thing feels like it's built like a tank. It's solid. It feels as good, if not better, than any other dash cam. It feels better than any other dash cam I've picked up. It feels like a solid quality device. Will it last for years and years and years? Only time will tell. But so far, it's been we've been hitting 0 degrees temperature here in Montana on a regular basis, even sub-zero. And it sits out in my car. I don't do anything special to it. Still works. The appearance. It looks like it has value. All right. It looks like a nice piece. It doesn't look, I've seen some really cheesy dash cams, and this thing looks like it's a quality piece of equipment. Like it's, high end, and, you take care of your vehicle and that you're willing to invest in it. If that's something that's important to you, I mean, at least it doesn't look like trash, right? And the selfie cam. This one was a hard one for me because I, as a driver, like to focus on driving, and really a lot of the other stuff was ridiculous stuff I don't care about. But the selfie cam is kind of cool because we do a lot of road trips, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of times, it'd be nice to be able to take a picture of the family in the truck because we're driving along doing things and stuff, and you just say, take a selfie, and it turns around 3 seconds later, click, you got a selfie. It's cool. Is it like the never-ending all be of accessory features? Probably not, but I like it. What I didn't like, permanent install, and I'm not talking about the sticking to the windshield. I'm not a big fan of that. Put a suction cup on it, guys. My first thought was, well, they don't want a suction cup on it because they don't want somebody to easily reach in and grab it. But then they put the little clear vinyl adhesive, so you can still remove it. I just get a suction cup if you're going to do that, okay? Now, I did actually reach out to them and say, hey, this is kind of an idiotic setup here where you can't remove it from the windshield. And they're like, oh, there's a cap on there. You just twist it and it unlocks. So you can take it off the windshield, but it is still a permanent or semi-permanent install. The wiring, there's a piece of equipment in the wire for the permanent install that tells the camera that it's installed permanently, and I think it monitors battery levels and stuff so that you won't completely drain the vehicle that it's attached to. But there are vehicles out there. I know we have a 99 Suburban that I could just plug it into one of my, I have 3 cigarette lighters. There's cigarette lighters all over this thing. There's 3 of them up front under the dash, and one of them is continuous power no matter what. So even if the vehicle's turned off, there's still power to it. So if I had that, I guess I could cut it out, splice it into the other wire, and do that. But it would have been nice if that was an option either way. It's just something to think about. The features I never use. It's got a bunch of stuff I'll never use. I don't care about lane avoidance. I don't care about the little faces and stuff that it makes. I don't care. The shoot left, shoot right is completely worthless. The screen, I hate having. Get rid of those features. Don't need the screen. Connect to my phone. I've got the app. I line it up once. All right, we're good. Never need to touch it again. It just stays there. All right. And the AI faces I mentioned, they're just stupid. Okay. So then who is this for? Okay. Who's going to, and that's the other, actually, there's one other thing I didn't put on here with features I wouldn't use. I don't care about the parking detection stuff. I live in rural Montana. Now, granted, I do go down to Vegas sometime, but honestly, this isn't something that bothers me. I drive an old truck. It's got 200,000 miles on it. It's a 1-ton pickup truck, and I can hit a deer with it and not put a dent in it. I'm not really worried about some skater bumping into my truck. He's going to get hurt, not my truck. That said, here's who I think this is for. The person who looks at a Tesla and goes, I like those features. I live in a big city. I like that all-around sensor thing like Tesla does. If you don't know this, part of the way that Tesla does its auto drive thing is it's got cameras all around the vehicle. And, well, they said, well, if we already got cameras, Let's hit record. So when you leave the vehicle, actually when you're driving the vehicle too, it's just constantly recording. And if it senses something, it'll take a picture and send it to you or tell you what's going on, give you a warning and stuff. That if you live in a big city, especially if you've got a valuable car, maybe you're driving a Mercedes or something nice, and you're like, I really wish I had those Tesla features. There you go. Now, the 360 aspect, though, of it, I was expecting a real 360 experience. Like, it just showed 360 at all times. And I know you're thinking, well, it'll be all fisheye and stuff. Well, the new software creates a virtual sphere. And then when you're in the software, you can take and create a virtual camera and look anywhere in that sphere. So you're getting a 2D flat image that your brain recognizes and understands, but you can pan around and you never miss the shot, as it were. But I guess this is close. I mean, it senses stuff, but how does it know when something comes up behind it? I mean, I guess it's pivoting around. Somebody could try. It's not the 360 I thought it was. This is a Band-Aid for people who don't have a Tesla and want Tesla kind of tech. I get it. You know, I remember when Bluetooth came out for cars, and I didn't have a car that had Bluetooth. So I had to buy this little thing that clipped to my visor that connected to my speakers, though I would have Bluetooth, and I could do speaker calls and stuff, and I could pipe audiobooks to my radio. All right, it's one of those Band-Aids till you get the next vehicle that has that feature that you want. At the end of the day, do I think it's worth it? I think it's worth it for the right person. I wouldn't buy this, but it's probably not targeted at a 53-year-old guy who lives in rural America. It's targeted at a 20 or 30 something, maybe even a family, guy. Put it in the minivan or something like that. You live in the middle of a decent sized city. You got to worry about stuff like this. I have, right after I got my first dash cam, and this was 15 years ago or something like that. I was 2 weeks after I got it. I was in a parking lot and I was backing out, and some dude was racing through the parking lot, apparently late for work, and hit the back of my car as I was coming out. Now you would think, obviously, because I was backing out, that I would be at fault. But I turned around and I looked, and I saw him coming from a mile away. So I stopped. He had plenty of room. I was stopped. And he still hit me. Get out of the vehicle. He tries to claim, I can't believe you pulled out in front of me, yada, yada. You're going to buy me a whole new car. It was some young guy in his early 20s, and he was driving a beater car, and he thought he'd hit the jackpot. My guess is he hit me on purpose, hoping that was going to be the case. I turned to him. I bent down because he was very tall. And I'm like, see that thing right there? That's a dash cam, and it records everything. And he went from, he was ready to accuse me and call the cops, yada, yada, to, I'm really sorry. I was late for work. Let me get my insurance information for you. He knew what he had done. He knew exactly what he'd done. And because I had a dash cam, I could prove, even though the dash cam wasn't facing that direction, I could prove that the vehicle was stopped. And it had been stopped for some time when he hit me. So, as I said, is $150 worth not having to pay, somebody else's insurance? There's a lot of stuff that happens on the road, and it becomes a he said, she said moment. But now it can be a he said, she said, the bot says different. All right. So yeah, for the right person, I think that $150 is actually a fair price for what it gives. Things I'd like to see in the next iteration: 2K at least, if not 4K. Get rid of the screen. Nobody cares about the screen. I get, and a real 360 a la like the action cams are out there. Put a camera on the front, a camera on the back, and digitally stitch the whole thing together. Do all that, and I think you got a slam dunk. I'd probably buy that. All right, but until then, I want to thank 70My for sponsoring this video. As you can see, we're very honest and open about our feelings on this kind of stuff. If you're interested in this, there are links down below. Anyway, you all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.